Comments for the week ending September 4th from the beef farmers of Ontario. There were 338 head of fed steers and heifers sold through auction markets last week, down 244 head from the previous week. Fed steers averaged $326.91 per hundredweight, down 30 cents per hundred, and fed heifers averaged $321.33, down $3.56 per hundredweight from the previous week's trade. Auction markets reported the fed steers and heifers sold steady on good demand. In Ontario, dress sales were reported at $5.42 per hundredweight delivered, $7 per hundredweight higher than the previous week. For the week ending August 23rd, Eastern fed cattle and cow exports to the U.S. were 3,042 head, 4% below last year and 35% above the 5-year average. Year-to-date, Eastern fed cattle and cow exports were 2% lower than last year. Cull cow receipts sold through auction markets last week were 1,583 head, down 68 head from the previous week. Cows averaged $202.42, up 3 cents per hundredweight. Beef cows averaged $220.86 per hundredweight, down $18.41 per hundred from the previous week's trade. Auction markets reported on Tuesday that cull cows and bulls sold $5 to $10 per hundredweight higher. By Thursday, fed cows sold at firm prices. Total receipts were 8,203 head last week. Receipts of 4,429 stock and feeder cattle sold through Ontario auction markets last week, down 1,023 head from the previous week. Auction markets reported on Friday, August 29th that calves and yearlings sold on a strong active trade, with prices $2 to $3 per hundredweight higher. By Thursday, stockers continued to sell on a good demand. The Quebec electronic market last week sold at $5.27 per hundredweight dressed on a picked-up basis, which is down $3 per hundredweight from the previous week's trade on average. Last week, Alberta fed steers and heifers averaged $308.69 per hundredweight and $305.32 per hundredweight respectively, $3.53 to $4 per hundredweight higher than the previous week. Dress sales were reported from $5.10 to $5.20 per hundredweight delivered, $5 to $10 per hundredweight higher than the previous week. Light trade was also reported in Saskatchewan at $3.15 per hundredweight, FOB the feedlot. Buying interest was noted from all 3 Western Canadian packers. Cattle that traded were scheduled for delivery in the second half of September. U.S. interest was supportive, and light volumes of Western Canadian fed cattle were marketed south. These cattle will be priced off the 5-area average. For the week ending August 30th, Western Canadian fed processing was 42,528 head, 0.1% higher than last year. The U.S. cash cattle trade last week saw dress sales in the northern feeding states from $3.82 to $3.87 per hundredweight, $3 to $5 per hundredweight lower, while live sales in the north were reported at $2.42 to $2.43 per hundredweight, $2 to $3 per hundredweight lower. Sales in Kansas were from $2.42 to $2.43 per hundredweight live, steady to $1 a hundredweight stronger. Last week's cattle processed was estimated at 487,000 head, down 78,000 head from the previous week due to the Labor Day holiday. This is Jamie Kerr with the Beef Farmers of Ontario Market Information Report.